Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Novak again. I just thought I'd take a picture of this. This is some Chemi-Pure at $16 for 5.5 ounces. If you watch one of my videos, I explain how to make it. This is absolutely ridiculous on the price of this. I was quite shocked to see that PetSmart was carrying it for 5.5 ounces of this stuff, but I will be using that one for my 20-gallon tank and two for the 90-gallon when it comes in. But if you watch my video, I explain exactly how to make Chemi-Pure, the ingredients to buy. I think I have enough to last me for years. But yeah, I was quite shocked to see 5.5 ounces for $16. I mean, that's just, to me, that's just outrageous. Maybe not to you, but it is to me. I also wanted to talk about a new aquarium lighting that I put on my 20-gallon tank that sits in front of the window. It is the Fluval 3.0 lighting. It's 6500K. Everybody's probably heard about this lighting by now. It's Bluetooth compatible. And what I'm doing is I put the pink on 75%, the blue on 5%, and then the other three colors, the whites, I put on 100%. Okay. And this is in the 20-gallon tank, which only has about 9 inches of water until you hit the substrate, and it's on full blast, 100%, which of course I highly recommend that you do not have such intense lighting for such a aquarium that's not that high. But I decided to try it out, and I'll keep you informed of how the tank's going to do and will it grow excessive algae being so bright. And it seems to be doing pretty good. So far, so good. I do inject CO2 into my aquarium. I do not keep it at the 30 parts per million. Mine is a lot less. If I use the dropper, which I have, it will not turn green. It will still stay blue. But I've always done that because then you don't have to worry about it. You know, usually you have 3 parts per million of CO2. So if you raise it to 7 or 8, it still is going to help out your aquarium and you won't have to worry about overdosing with CO2. But anyhow, it's on a timer in the aquarium. So it shuts off when the lights shut off, about a half hour before, a half hour after. What I wanted to show you is this grate right here. This is something I bought for the new aquarium that I will be getting. And this is going to be used for the plenum. Instead of trying to make one out of bio balls and egg crate, and then you have to buy the mesh that goes on top of it, I found this at about $1 a square. It snaps together. It's easy to cut. I talked to somebody who's using it, and he said, yeah, he uses this in his tank. It's 1 inch high, and it's going to be smaller than the ID of the aquarium, so there'll be a little bit of room in front and on the sides, and that way you could fill in the front and sides with your aquarium substrate, and it will hide the plenum, and it'll make the substrate look taller. But what I'm going to do is put a substrate on top of here of at least 3 inches. Okay, it's going to look like 4 inches because this is already 1 inch high, but it's at least going to be 3 inches. And I have, I bought a tube and everything, so I'm going to have it bubble, but not with a 1 inch tube. I'm only going to use like a 3/8 inch tubing to do the bubbling. I already bought that, and this is one of the supplies I have, and I thought I would show you. If you think about making a plenum, just go on Amazon and type in your undergravel filters, and this pops up. Like I said, it snaps together, and for a 125 gallon aquarium, it probably costs you $60. Then I decided to go with the Fluval Stratum substrate to use on top of it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it about 1 inch thick, and then I'm going to sprinkle laterite. The laterite you can get right off the internet. I don't know what the problem is. All you have to do is go on Amazon, type in laterite, it pops up, and you could buy it. It comes in different sizes. I have some, so what I'm going to do is make an inch. I'm going to sprinkle laterite all over it, and then I'm going to finish it off with another 2 inches of substrate. So when I put my plants down, and not only have the substrate, but the laterite, and I'm not going to use clay in this. And the reason I'm not is because too many people are complaining they can't find the clay or the correct clay in other countries. But this seems to be something people can find. That's why I'm using it, because it seems to be readily available, whether you go Amazon or you go to a PetSmart or a Petco. This seems to be the substrate that's readily available. It's good for shrimp and it's good for planted aquariums. That's why I'm going to use it, something that all of us would want to use. And availability, that's another reason I'm using it. So I'm pretty satisfied with this. I think it will make an excellent plenum. You don't necessarily have to make a plenum and use kitty litter or oil dry. You necessarily don't have. I mean, in my 20 gallon, let's use that for an example. That's just our ordinary aquarium gravel. It's nothing special. It's just gravel, and it sits over a plenum. And like I said, I've done this, and tanks have lasted 20 years with this until I finally just took them down or had to move them or whatever. But you don't necessarily have to use the clay, but a deeper, thicker substrate will help. And if you can get the ions in there and create anoxic conditions, that's what you want, because then you're growing the same bacteria as you would with the clay. Plus, in the new aquarium, I'm going to be using a BCB basket in the 88 filter that I bought for the aquarium, and that filter is going to have a nice BCB basket in it to aid the aquarium, just like the 20 gallon. The antique aquarium has a BCB in the 88 tank, and the substrate is just normal gravel. In the new aquarium, I will be using the stratum, fluval stratum, because I'll be putting more advanced plants. Well, Amazon swords, your crypts, your Amazon sword. Some plants I kind of stay away from, only because they either grow very fast. You got to constantly be cutting them down. They're more of a hassle. I like plants that you can put in and they're not going to cause a big hassle or require a lot of work. And I found out that sword plants do that, and there's quite a few other plants. But that's what I'll be using in the new aquarium, along with my hard decorations for that particular aquarium, plus CO2. And this is something I thought I'd bring up to you in case you're thinking about making a plenum and you just cannot get the kitty litter. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. Okay, just do what I'm going to do. I'll be showing it. I haven't gotten the tank yet. It's an SCA aquarium. I'm going to be calling them next week and find out what the holdup of the aquarium is, so I can make videos for you. And we'll go step by step by setting up the aquarium. But I did think that under gravel filter plate, it's made in China, looked like it was a pretty good idea. That all you have to do is snap it together and make it as big as you want. You can cut it out, and it looks like it's very easy to use. And another hobbyist who watches my channel uses the same stuff, and we were talking about it. And he uses the exact same black mesh stuff, and he said it's very easy to cut, very easy to size for any aquarium. It is an inch high, and I said that's good, because that's where your plenum will be, and you'll have a higher redox inside there to help with your aquarium, balancing out your aquarium, and also aiding in making anoxic conditions and not creating anaerobic conditions. So your tank should last, 10, 20 years plus without ever having to tear it down. And if you want to change to hardscape, or if you want to add different plants, you can always pull them out, change to hardscape, but you don't have to tear the whole tank apart. That's what I'm saying. You can get yourself a gravel washer and go in there, clean out your substrate, and replant it back up. And if you need to add more laterite or whatever you want to do, it's your choosing. And you're not going to ruin your plenum. So that's why I say that, you know, it will go on for years and years and years. But I thought I'd make this short video just to kind of give you a little bit of an update here. The snails you're looking at here, by the way, one's a rabbit face and the other one's just a mystery snail. And believe it or not, I bought the rabbit face snail that you see here at Petco. They had some. And I thought, well, that I haven't really seen that for sale at a normal aquarium store, especially around here in Florida. We don't have much. But it's an interesting snail. It's a librarian snail. And it doesn't seem to be bothering any of the plants or anything. Eats algae. It's not tearing anything. It's supposed to eat like dead leaves and stuff like that. So it doesn't seem to be doing anything. It's just that the mystery snails always seem to hop a ride on the rabbit face snails. So I thought I'd make this video, give you a little bit of update with the dicboids, the lighting system, which I'm going to be testing out. I'm going to see if it creates a lot of algae or if it doesn't. Now, since I've eliminated the blue and have a decreased amount of red, let's see. Because I really know I'm overpowering the tank with the light, but that's how we learn, right? It's the only way we are going to learn whether or not it will destroy the tank and make it full of algae or keep the algae at bay because I'm using CO2. And if it does keep the algae at bay and it is extremely bright, well, that blows the theory of you can't have very bright light on shallow tanks. Remember, I'm only dealing with about 9 inches of water until you come to the substrate. That's a very, very shallow tank with a very bright light on it. Anyhow, I hope you're doing good. I'll try to keep you update. I'm going to find out more about the aquarium coming in so I can go step-by-step instructions on it. Until next time, happy aquarium keeping.